Hello everybody, my name is Rachel Nard. I love art in all its forms, and the work which I will share with you today is one of my personal favorites. The work I will be presenting is housed in the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art located in Bentonville. If you've never been, you should really stop by sometime. It's an amazing place, ever-changing and always beautiful. This elegant piece of artwork is titled The Bubble and was sculpted by Harriet Whitney Frishmuth. This sculpture, like many of Frishmuth's sculptures, was modeled after a young dancer named Desha Deltay. Desha was Frishmuth's favorite model because her dancing background allowed her the flexibility and strength to hold uncomfortable and awkward poses for long periods of time. Frishmuth sculpted the bubble in 1928 in her studio in New York. This work, like most of her sculptures, is an homage to the form and movement of the human body. Frishmuth probably favored Desha because she had a great interest in sculpting the female form. She is best known for her many different sculptures depicting the naked female body in various active poses. The artist was born in Philadelphia, but spent much of her younger years in Europe. There she was drawn to the art of the time. She grew her interest and passions, and briefly studied under a few different masters in Paris and Berlin. She returned to the United States to study art in New York, eventually reaching a steady career as a sculptor of ashtrays, bookends, and the occasional commissioned artwork. But then she became famous for her skill in rendering females in bronze. The sculpture is 94 inches tall, 39 inches at its widest point, with a 26-inch in diameter base. With these dimensions, you would expect the bubble to seem towering or harsh. However, its shape allows it to be large without being overwhelming. It is bronze and glass, the glass being used to make the ball in the model's hands. This piece is unique because it is strong either alone or with a set. It is not confined to one axis, but rather a number of axes. Because it's tall, one could argue that the vertical axis dominates, but the horizontal and diagonal axes also play into the bubble's overall aesthetic, given the appearance of movement within a standing plane. The absence of color and the use of bronze certainly attribute to its style, but it is the contrast of the dark bronze with the iridescent glass ball that draws the viewer's eye to the bubble. The fluid shape and 360-degree detail make viewing this piece in any light breathtaking. Light seems to reflect off the bronze, but be absorbed by the ball, creating an aesthetically pleasing balance of light and dark. Now, one thing that really drew me to this sculpture is its subject, femininity. Not only is it of the female form, but it was constructed by a female sculptor, whose gentle touch and attention to detail allowed this piece to be an ultimate symbol of feminism in modern art. Frishmuth is frequently quoted in her dislike of being called a sculptress instead of just a sculptor, which is an indication of her support of feminism. The bubble is an intricate balance between light and dark, hardness and softness, strength and agility. She creates a strong, athletic female form in the dark bronze, and adds the airy glass bubble to soften the entire appearance of the sculpture. In the 1920s, when Frishmuth was beginning to gain popularity, she was one of few recognized women in the art world. By creating a female form from the female perspective, Frishmuth takes a different take on the female nude, changing its purpose from sexual worship or idealist iconography to the admiration of a woman's body, exactly as she is. The arching pose and splayed fingers and toes of the subject are nods to coy femininity. Now, it's a little difficult to precisely label this piece, due in part to the lack of resources detailing Frishmuth's life, and also due to its versatility. However, I believe the most accurate ism to place the bubble into would be modernism. Frishmuth was a proud female artist and created her works to exemplify the role of women in art, which is like the modernist perspective of change in contemporary ideals. In addition, the modernist movement took place in the late 19th and early 20th century, which was the high time of Frishmuth's career. The bubble can be compared to many different modern sculptures to observe the overall stylistic elements of the period. Sculptors created art for their own expression, and I'm going to show you just a few of the many beautiful nude sculptures in the round created in this period. Frishmuth drew much of her inspiration from European art, and exhibits Impressionist ideals in her work, likely due to her short study under Impressionist giant Auguste Rodin. You can see Frishmuth's nod to Impressionism in her use of light and simplicity. As I said before, the bubble is one of my favorite pieces of artwork. It is aesthetically beautiful. It is well crafted, but is also an image of female empowerment. I wish I could say more about it, but at the moment I'm still trying to catch my breath at the wonder of Frishmuth's sculpting skills. Seriously, sculptors rock.